Another video. In this lesson, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about preferences. Most of them are going to be set it and forget it. You can change it to however way you want if you feel more comfortable doing things differently than the way I suggest. However, I want to go over some of the things that are really important, and I'm going to emphasize the things that you should not change. So we're going to start off with a screen right over here. Now, one thing it's important to remember is that some of the things are not going to be active unless you have a physical window open. So I'm going to go up to File and Edit and View and so on and so forth, and that's pretty good. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go down to Page Properties, which is one of the things that we talked about, and notice that Page Properties is grayed out and Template Properties is grayed out, and some of the other things over here you can see Page Properties, Template Properties, and that's because the window's not open up an actual document. So we're going to set preferences. Now these are strictly going to be your own personal preferences. Because you're working off the Barry server, they're going to be no matter where you go. If you go to one of the computers on campus and you load up Dreamweaver, you're not going to have the preferences because the preferences do get stored on your local computer. However, you're going to be working on the Barry website, so you do not have to purchase your own. If you want to purchase your own, you can give me some information and I will send you what you need to do. So we're going to start off right over here with General. And really there's not a lot to talk about in General. Is your options are Show Start Screen or Not Show Start Screen. I'm going to click Show the Start Screen. I recommend that you do it. That gives you an option to open up your existing files and other things as opposed to this blank stare that you're getting from my screen right now. Reopen documents on startup, not a good idea. Let's just get rid of that. You can if you want to. These warn when read opening files is fine, enable related files, that's fine. All these other things here are really nothing important. This strong and M in place of B and I, these are HTML attributes. B stands for bold, I stands for italic. They're being replaced with strong and M. The newer browsers may not recognize it, so make sure you have this checked over here. And warn when placing editable regions within a P, H1 through H6 tags. That when you start doing templates with editable regions, you'll understand the logic behind it. So that's okay. Just to be on the safe side, we're going to click on Apply. Accessibility obviously speaks for itself. You really don't need to change it. You should have media and off-screen checked. Code format, you can leave it at 2 spaces and 4 spaces. I really wouldn't mess with this. The line break here is carriage return and line feed for Windows. If you have a Mac, which you don't because you're working on Barry's, you can set that differently. That's only if you're working on your own. Now, I hit the escape on purpose because I wanted to emphasize the apply. Make sure whenever you're making changes and you go from screen to screen, hit the apply. That way you never can lose any work. You should get a warning message asking you to change them, but there's no guarantee on that. So again, we just did the code format. Code hints. This has changed finally in this version of Dreamweaver. It used to have, after typing, this bracket and the slash. What that refers to is HTML tags such as a P tag, an H1 tag, a div tag, any tag. As soon as you hit the closing tag on that, and I'll demonstrate that in a future video, it's going to automatically add the closing tag for you. The closing tag consists of a left bracket, a slash, the name of the tag, and a right bracket with few exceptions. Code rewriting over here, you can leave it by yourself. Don't really need to worry about it. Copy and paste again. What I would recommend putting is you have your choice of text only, text or structure, plus basic formatting, and that the problem with that is if you're copying and pasting from Word or you're copying and pasting from WordPad or you're copying and pasting from something else, it does what it thinks is the right thing to do. So my opinion is I would stick strictly with text only, and you only need to worry about formatting in CSS, which is our next thing over here. Use shorthand. I would check everything. For now, just take my word for it, and then you'll see that later on what. Okay, extract over here, just a plain PNG is fine, or you can choose JPEG. The difference between a PNG and a JPEG is PNGs will allow you to have transparency, where JPEGs will automatically add a white background. You'll see that when we do some other things. File compare, you really don't need to worry too much about. File types and editors, this is important. Change the PNG to Photoshop. Make that your primary. Just click on Photoshop and primary. We're going to be working exclusively in Photoshop. Fireworks is fine, but let's be together. A GIF, again, will allow you to do transparent images. So we're going to stick with Photoshop, JPEGs, Photoshop, PSD is going to be Photoshop, FLA should be Flash. If you don't have Flash, Animate's fine. Wave, again, is Audition. You can choose whatever product you want. If you want to do the something from Windows, that's fine. We'll talk about that again. MP3 is WinPlayer, so on and so forth. Fonts over here, you can leave everything the same. Highlighting, do not confuse highlighting with selecting. Highlighting is you actually have something that shows different. And so over here, mouse over, all these things, you can leave that alone, or you can change it to whatever you want. In-app things, fine. Interface. This, again, you're going to have to play with till you get something that's light. They originally give you something dark like that. I don't like that. Maybe you do. I don't. So I choose this. You can choose whatever you want. Invisible elements. Very important. You want to have as many of these things checked as possible. So we're going to add scripts. We're going to add line breaks. And again, when we're working in HTML code or in design view, you'll see these little things that let you know that you have a JavaScript or you have a line break. A line break is, if you know Microsoft Word, it's going to the next line without going to a paragraph. You're going to hit Shift-Enter in Word. And you can do the same thing here, and you'll see what that'll do in a little bit later. Linting. Linting is used to enable to help you detect errors, so you can use linting in all those things. This is very important. Make sure your default document is HTML with a .html extension, and the default talk type will be HTML5. That is what the latest is. So just use that. You can see other options here. And there used to be XHTML strict, and now everything really needs to be HTML5. And you can see new features. How exciting. I wouldn't really worry about them too much. Real-time preview. Right now, you're only going to be able to use Internet Explorer because, again, you're working strictly on Berry server. Okay, the site you can just leave over here alone. Don't worry about any of these things right now. Sync settings, you're probably not syncing with anything, so I wouldn't worry about it. WCC validator, if you publish a website, it has to be correct all the time, all browsers, so on and so forth. A VCC validator will allow you to validate your code with the W3C people, and it'll tell you if there's any kind of errors. We're not going to really mess with that, so I wouldn't worry about it right here. And window sizes, you can just change it to whatever you want. You can see iPad, iPhone 4, iPhone 5, 6. They don't have iPhone 7 and the upcoming iPhone 8, but that's just a matter of window sizes. You can add that on your own. When you're done, click Apply and Close. That's all there is to it in this video. Have a wonderful day.